Max was adopted as a puppy by Jake, a young soldier about to leave for his first military training. Jake never wanted a dog. He said it was too much responsibility for someone always packing bags. But when he saw Max trembling inside a cardboard box, abandoned on the sidewalk of a gas station, something shifted. Time seemed to stand still. Jake picked him up, looked into the eyes of that helpless puppy, and knew they were meant to walk this life together. What he didn't know was that this bond would one day save his life. Literally. Months later, Jake receives orders for an overseas mission. He needs to leave Max with his father, Robert, a lonely widower who lives on a small farm in rural Texas. The night before his departure, Jake kneels in front of Max. The dog rests his head on Jake's chest as if he understands everything. Jake whispers, "Wait for me, buddy, I'll come back, I promise." That was the last promise Jake ever made, and Max believed it with every beat of his little heart. Robert had never had a pet in the house since his wife passed away. At first, Max barked at the roosters, growled at the wind, tried to run away. But little by little, he developed a new routine. Every day at exactly 5 p.m., he would walk to the wooden gate of the farm and sit, waiting rain or shine, week after week. Year after year, Robert watched it happen with a tight chest. He tried to convince the dog to give up, to move on. But Max didn't want to live without his owner. He wanted to fulfill the promise, even if he didn't understand what it meant to wait that long. 3 years later, a letter arrives. Jake is officially declared missing in action. No body, no trace, no return. Robert breaks down. He tries to hide the pain from Max, but the dog changes. He eats less, sleeps poorly, but continues to go to the gate every day as if Jake was just late. Robert cries silently, "He's not coming back, Max. He's not coming back." But Max doesn't listen, because deep down, he still feels something. In a military hospital in Europe, a soldier is rescued from a prisoner of war camp. He's dehydrated, thin, emotionally broken, but alive. It's Jake. Somehow he survived. Even in the worst nights, even when he lost faith, he thought of Max, of his eyes, his loyalty. "Wait for me," he remembered. And that was what kept him breathing. Jake begs to return as quickly as possible. He can barely walk, but he's in a hurry. He needs to keep his side of the promise. Meanwhile, Max begins to weaken. He's now 11 years old. Vets say he won't live much longer. Robert doesn't want him to suffer, but can't stop the dog from getting up, even in pain, and walking to the gate every day at 5 p.m. Robert looks up at the sky and whispers, "Lord, if he still believes, then help me believe too." One late afternoon, the sun kisses the horizon in golden tones. Max drags himself to the gate, like always. But that day, something is different. Far away, a silhouette appears on the dusty road. Max suddenly stands up. His ears twitch. He lets out a weak bark, then another, like a cry from the soul. Robert runs outside. He sees it's Jake, limping, tears in his eyes, but alive. Max tries to run, stumbles, but doesn't stop. They meet in the middle of the road. Jake falls to his knees. Max throws himself into his arms. They both cry, and the world seems to stop in that moment. In the following months, Max improves slightly. He sleeps beside Jake every night, but time has taken its toll. And one calm morning, Max passes, peacefully in his sleep, with his head resting on Jake's chest, as if saying, "I waited. You came back. Now I can rest." Jake buries Max under their favorite tree on the farm. There, he builds a small memorial with the inscription, "Here lies Max, the dog who never gave up." He also writes a letter to the military, requesting that Max receive an honorary medal for his loyalty. The story captures the hearts of thousands and inspires veterans around the world. Sometimes God uses animals to remind us that there is something greater than logic, something that surpasses death, pain, and time. Call it instinct or faith, but never underestimate the love of a dog, because Max proved to us that a true promise, not even time, nor war, nor distance can ever erase. Texto pa Lord, thank you for the creatures you've placed in our lives. They teach us to love, to be faithful, to wait. Help us to be as loyal as a dog, and never give up on those we love. Amen. Drown. And if this story moved you, if Max's loyalty reminded you of the power of love, of keeping a promise, of never giving up, then don't let it end here. Subscribe to Stories That Touch QRS for more true and powerful stories like this. Stories that remind us what really matters. Stories that make us feel. Stories that touch. Leave a comment below telling us, have you ever experienced loyalty like this? We'd love to hear your story. And remember, sometimes the quietest hearts leave the loudest echoes. See you in the next story.